Let me begin with a question that sounds simple, yet carries extraordinary weight. What is marriage really? Is it love, companionship, a second chance at happiness? Or is it something far more structural, something closer to a system than a feeling? For men in their 40s considering remarriage, this is no longer an abstract philosophical question. It is a practical one. Because at this stage of life, marriage is not merely an emotional decision. It is the redesign of an entire life structure. In your 20s, marriage is often built on possibility. In your 30s, it is shaped by ambition and stability. But in your 40s, marriage becomes something different. It becomes a negotiation between accumulated experience and future risk. By this point, a man no longer arrives alone. He carries with him an established financial framework, professional responsibilities, family obligations, children, memories, disappointments, and psychological patterns formed over decades. Remarriage, then, is not simply about meeting someone new. It is about integrating another person into a highly complex existing system. And this is where many men make their first critical mistake. They believe the solution is simple. This time, I'll just choose better. But remarriage does not succeed because of better intentions or stronger chemistry. It succeeds because of better structure. Love may initiate a relationship, but structure determines whether it survives. Why structure matters more than emotion. Across both Eastern philosophy and modern psychology, one principle repeatedly emerges. Human beings love emotionally, but relationships endure structurally. Marriage is not merely romance. It is also a legal, financial, psychological, and behavioral system. And systems rarely collapse because of insufficient affection. They collapse because of structural incompatibility. This is why the most important question in remarriage is not, who is this person? The more important question is, what patterns does this person repeat under stress? Character is not revealed during comfort. It is revealed during uncertainty, disagreement, disappointment, and pressure. People do not show you who they are once. They show you who they are repeatedly, and repeated patterns are predictive. A person who seeks resolution through dialogue creates one kind of future. A person who responds through escalation, avoidance, manipulation, or emotional volatility creates another. These are not small personality quirks. They are structural indicators of long-term relational stability. The illusion of surface-level compatibility. One of the most dangerous errors men make in second marriages is overvaluing visible qualities. Kindness, warmth, charm, chemistry. These qualities matter, but they are not sufficient. A person may appear deeply caring during comfort and stability, but who are they during fear? During financial strain? During conflict? During uncertainty? That is where truth emerges. Because the real nature of a relationship is not defined by how beautifully it begins. It is defined by how consistently it functions over time. 3 high-risk relational patterns. In studying remarriage dynamics, 3 recurring high-risk patterns frequently appear. First, the economic dependency dynamic. This occurs when marriage becomes a pathway to security rather than partnership. Typical signs include early fixation on assets, excessive focus on income, premature discussions of inheritance, or subtle pressure around financial integration. At its core lies an unspoken belief. This relationship is my survival system. When that happens, love gradually transforms into dependency. Second, the victim narrative pattern. This is the tendency to consistently frame past failures as entirely the fault of others. When someone cannot acknowledge their role in previous relational breakdowns, growth becomes nearly impossible. Without self-responsibility, old patterns inevitably repeat. Third, emotional volatility cycles. These relationships often begin intensely. The connection feels passionate, urgent, magnetic. But beneath the intensity lies instability, cycles of reassurance, insecurity, conflict, reconciliation, and emotional escalation. Intensity is often mistaken for depth. It is not. Often it is simply unmanaged anxiety. The critical difference, deficiency versus maturity. Ultimately, every evaluation of remarriage comes down to one diagnostic distinction. Is this person entering marriage from deficiency or from maturity? A deficiency-based relationship sounds like this: prove your love, reassure, guarantee my security. It is driven by emotional lack and relationships built primarily to fill internal emptiness inevitably become pressure systems. A maturity-based relationship sounds different. It allows space for dialogue, negotiation, mutual respect, independent stability. It is not built on rescue. It is built on cooperation. This distinction changes everything because stable relationships are not formed by two incomplete people attempting to fix each other. They are formed by two internally grounded people choosing to build together. The 10 structural questions before remarriage. Before making a lifelong decision, every man over 40 should ask, has this person truly resolved their past? Can they acknowledge responsibility for prior failures? Do they resolve conflict through dialogue? Can they regulate jealousy? Are they comfortable with financial transparency? Do they understand family complexity realistically? Is marriage a choice, not a survival strategy? Can they function independently? Is there no pressure to rush commitment? Are they open to external counsel when needed? If most of these are consistently present, long-term stability becomes significantly more likely. Why this matters more after 40. After 40, marriage affects far more than emotion. It affects assets, children, inheritance structures, retirement planning, long-term autonomy. This transforms remarriage into something larger than personal companionship. It becomes the merging of systems, and systems require design. This is why practical safeguards are not signs of distrust. They are signs of maturity. Clear financial boundaries, transparent expectations, gradual integration, defined legal structures. These are not barriers to intimacy. They are protections for it. The final question. So when evaluating remarriage, do not ask, how much does this person love me? Ask, is this person stable even without me? Because only someone stable alone can build stability together. The greatest risk in remarriage is not obvious failure. It is familiar dysfunction disguised as a fresh beginning. And the wisest men do not simply seek emotional intensity. They seek structural peace, because love may open the door, but structure determines what happens after you walk through it. In our next lecture, we will move beyond identifying risk and focus on precision. What kind of partner actually stabilizes a man's life after 40? We will explore the behavioral traits of highly successful remarriage partnerships and the psychological architecture of lasting peace. If this perspective brought clarity, please subscribe, share, and join the conversation, because the most important decisions in life are rarely made by emotion alone. They are made through wisdom, structure, and disciplined understanding.